Hey guys, it's Kelsey. I'm back with Scrap 5, and our recipe for today is to scrap lift a layout, use hearts, a cardstock background, splatters, and stamping. So this is the layout I'm scrap lifting this month. I found it on Instagram while searching for Felicity Jane inspiration. It is by Scrap by Carla Dower. I'm pretty sure she is on the Felicity Jane design team, and I just was obsessed with her layout. I really wanted to recreate it, and because she had these rows of stars being this really cool design element with stitching, and I had to get hearts on this layout, I thought it would be the perfect opportunity to just swap out the shape from a star to a heart and kill two birds with one stone. So I really wanted to use, for whatever reason, every page this month or every event, I feel like I'm picking and choosing a different color combo from this collection, which is really cool because so many of these pages look so different from each other because I'm picking and choosing which products I'm using from this collection. So this one, I really wanted to focus on the pink and the aqua. I really like this color combination together, and I thought it really flattered my photo. This is from when my mom and I went to Helen for a weekend as a little bachelorette girls trip. And one of the things we did was we went to Hardman Farms and did a really cool historical tour. It was awesome. I was not expecting it to be as cool as it was. This house had so many modern things for its time, and it was just beautiful. And there's something about the land there and everything that has happened that just makes this place feel really special. And because it is historical, they've kind of kept it how it was originally. So it just feels like this moment frozen and out of time, and it was just really, really cool. So I definitely wanted to document this right away when I got to my Helen stuff because this is one of the coolest things I think we did this whole weekend. There will be a companion page to this one as well. Same with my sister's kind of wine trip. There's probably going to be 4 layouts maybe with this whole weekend of different stuff that we did, but the Hardman Farms especially is getting 2 layouts, so this one and the next one will be companion pages using the same kind of color scheme, so it's very clearly go together because I'm going to have the title on this page and the journaling on the next page, and then they will be together in my album. So that's kind of why I decided to do it that way. I'm definitely trying to gut as I go because, again, I'm trying to save everything from this layout to use on the next one. So I'm just piecing all of this together, but I really wanted to do this awesome corner design that Carla did, and I thought this was so cool. I knew I needed a cardstock for my background for the recipe, so I'm using the aqua cardstock. But I really wanted to use the cool scallop detail on the bottom that comes on the bottom of Felicity Jane cardstock. So I decided to bump it up a little bit and have a row of this pink polka dots at the bottom of the page that we can still see the scalloped edge of the cardstock. And then that same pink polka dot is what I'm doing in the corner up here. And I think it just looks so pretty. And so I went through my stash and I just punched a couple hearts from my stash, but then I didn't really have enough sizes, and it was kind of all running together because it looked like it was the same texture. But then I remembered that Ronnie had sent me a whole container of different sized, textured, colored hearts. So I pulled her little container out, and she had a bunch of like Swiss dot textured hearts in the perfect sizes to kind of fill in what I already had. So I really used that container a lot to fill in what I needed. You can see better in the close-ups than from this top-down view, but I'm just alternating the Swiss dot textured hearts with the plain white hearts, and then just layering some smaller hearts to fill in the gaps and make it look super layery. But this was a really cool design feature that I was just obsessed with on Carla's layout that I like had to do. And it gets, another recipe item out of the way. So already I'm scrap lifting a layout. I'm already getting hearts on there. I already have a cardstock background. So really, once I get this part composed, all I have to do is get splatters and stamping, which both are kind of finishing touches for me. So I'm really just going to focus on layering and having fun with my photo area. Because this was the main portion of my scrap lift I really wanted to get down. She did some stitching across the middle of this area, and so I'm going to hand stitch that as well. And I just think it looks so cool. I haven't done hand stitching in a while, and I just thought it was such a special element. So now that I have all my hearts glued down, I'm just trying to figure out how I'm going to stitch through all of this. I'm going to trim the hearts off the edges so I can kind of see what I have to work with. And then I'm just going to use my ruler and my little piercing pad. That Amy Tangerine pad, actually, Ronnie sent me that as well, and I use that all the time too. So thank you, Ronnie. I don't know if I could have made this page without you. I am piercing my holes at 1/4 of an inch apart all the way down through the middle of all of these hearts. And I'm just going to do a simple back stitch to stitch along that line. A straight stitch would have looked fine. It would have probably taken the same amount of time, but a back stitch, it uses a little bit more thread, but it just looks a lot cleaner and more uniform to me. So I've kind of been favoring the back stitch when I have to stitch a straight line. So I'll go in and do that. I'm going to cut, I won't make you watch all of this, but I'm just going in and starting my back stitch. I'm going to go all the way across this whole thing. And ta-da, it's done. It's beautiful, and I love it so much. It is like the most Felicity Jane thing I've ever seen, which makes me think she is on the Felicity Jane design team because that's just so cool. But now that that element is done, I kind of get to play with my photo area now. I had 2 photos here. They were both 4x6s. I trimmed this one down to a 4x4, and the other photo, it's really hard to see because it's really small and out in the distance, but from the building, you can look out and see the Indian mound across the way. So I don't know if you guys remember, after Marcus and I got engaged, we went and we had a Helen weekend kind of to celebrate. And one of the pages I did was documenting this gazebo that was on top of an Indian mound in the middle of a cow field. So this is where that is. That's Hardman Farms. And I had no idea this house was even there. It was a historical site, or that you could tour it. But I was really happy to be able to go back and do that because I do remember the Indian mound story that I researched from when we were there before. And I really wanted to document the Indian mound in the distance from the front of this house. So that smaller picture that's kind of to the side, I don't think you can see it right now, is the Indian mound in the distance. And so I really want to get that on the page, but it wasn't worth it to me to have a full photo taking up space because design-wise, that would have just kind of taken away what I was trying to do. So you'll see kind of what I decided to do with that in a little bit. But for now, I'm just taking some scraps I've accumulated so far through the month. Anything that is the aqua and the pink, I am pulling in. And so I'm just trying to, I'm not even really looking at Carla's layout right now. I'm just trying to do some fun layers. I knew she kind of created this L design with her layers. But I'm just using what I have and trying to get some fun things down. So that's that second photo you can see. I'm trimming it down. But what I decided to do was, instead of using it as a photo, I trimmed it into a banner so it could be a design element. So it's functioning as a banner to complement the design, but it still gives you the information of what's in the photo. So you can look at that photo and you can still see the Indian mound in the distance. And I think that's really cool. I think that's a really cool way to use an extra photo that isn't worth kind of using as a photo, but in a way like this, where it complements your design and adds to the story. That way you get it on the page, but it doesn't have to be a whole thing. So that's kind of what I decided. I need some other banner pieces to layer up behind that so it makes more sense. So I have a scrap of this vellum from my kit last month that I am going to trim into a banner and layer them up. And that's pretty much what I decided to do with that. I think it was a really cool kind of thing to pull in. And now I'm just trying to figure out layer-wise how much I want everything to show. I think this stripe, I want even less of that showing, but I don't think I trim it down just yet because I'm trying to figure out what I'm doing design-wise. I'm really trying to get a frame and a tag on every page this month, but I kind of felt like the 2 frames I had pulled out that coordinated were that black and white gingham and the aqua polka dot. The aqua polka dot I felt would just blend in with the background, but the gingham I thought was too heavy. So I did decide to go without a frame on this layout, but I will pull in that black and white polka dot tag at the top of the screen. I'll pull that in a little bit later, so I at least get that used up. But until then, I just looked at some of the ephemera bits that I had to work with. I had an aqua tag and a heart a heart chipboard piece. So I just layered those up to be my little cluster next to that photo banner. And now I'm trying to figure out, I think, what I'm doing for the other cluster. I went ahead and fussy cut the acorn circle out from that pocket card. I thought about using that on this layout, but decided not to for whatever reason. So I'm just trying to figure out what else I want to do. So my go-to when I get stuck for embellishment clusters is doily and a glassine bag. So that's what I did. I really think this texture complements the heart and the stitching detail I already have on here. I think it always looks good, especially with Felicity Jane. So I'm going to go ahead and tack both of those things on here to accentuate these layers. And I think that's when I decide that this striped layer that's running horizontally is a little bit too wide. So I will trim that up to make all these layers look a little bit more compact, which is what I was going for. And then I'll get the doily used up. Even the doilies I'm going to gut. And you guys, I don't know why I do this. I don't know why I gut doilies. I understand the pattern paper because I don't have a lot. I need to make it stretch. I have a box of 1,000 doilies. I don't know why I gut doilies. Like, I don't need to, but it's such a habit at this point to just not want to waste it. Anyways, I guess it's a good habit to have, but I just, like, every time I watch myself do it, I'm like, why are you saving the doily? You have 1,000 of them. But yeah, so I'm going to go ahead and glue the layers down. I'm happy with their proportions now, so I'm going to start sticking things together. And then I think this is where I decide, oh, I want to get a tag on here, at least if I can't do a frame. And I didn't really think about that until, like, before I glued all this stuff down. But then I realized, oh, like, it just fits in the glassine bag. So I just stick the tag in the glassine bag, and that's what I decide to do. So I like that. That looks cute to me. Something I've been doing all month that, I mean, I kind of always do it, but a chunk of this tag is covered up behind these other layers. So I cut the bottom of it. I'll trim that into a banner, and that will be another banner behind my little photo banner area. And I love that because that pattern of the tag is now in both areas. So again, it just creates an easy automatic balance when I do that. So that polka dot pattern is in both areas, framing my photo really nicely. So I like that. I did just glue that tag in there. I'm not doing my journaling on that tag, so it does not need to be removable. So I just glued it in there. And now I need to get my little banner cluster done, and then I think I'm going to actually glue down my layers hopefully soon. I am threading some black and white twine through that tag. I thought again about using the black and white or the black Felicity Jane ribbon, but this layout is so light and airy, and I'm really loving that. I just thought using the black ribbon would be too much. It would be too heavy. So that's why I decided to stick with the black and white twine. I'm gutting this section of the aqua for a future layout. And again, I will back this whole thing with the black. And then I'll get to actually glue down these layers and get going. I know I still need to do splatter and splatter and stamping for my scrap 5. So I need to not forget to do that. I think I glue my layers down before I do my splatter, because that was another reason I was waiting to glue down these layers. I wanted to splatter first and then get my layers down, but I immediately glued them down and then was like, oh no, I still have to splatter. But I'm going in with my Heidi Swap Gold Color Shine. I'm going to splatter on the diagonal, and because I'm using gold, I want to pull in some other gold elements, so it all makes sense. I already have the gold eyelet from the Brad, so gold already made sense to me, but now I just need to add a little bit more gold so it all looks cohesive, because right now there's just this one gold eyelet, and it kind of looks lonely on there. It doesn't look like it makes so much sense because there's no other gold. So I will fix that. I am creating this page while on Zoom again, so I am talking to the ladies while we're doing this. It was a lot of fun. It was another Scraptacular Cropping Club Zoom. We had a crop day where it was 12 hours, and I was so sad I couldn't be on there for the entire time because I had to go and babysit for most of the day. But I was able to be on for a couple hours in the morning, which is when I made this page. So if my hands are moving and I'm just talking to nothing, it's probably because I'm talking to the girls on the chat. But yeah, that was a lot of fun. And I got to see some more new people like in person. I got to see Sappy Joe. I got to see Lisa. It was so much fun talking to you guys and seeing your beautiful faces in person, kind of, through Zoom. But that was really cool. The first couple Zooms I did were for the Secret Not Secret Kit Club, and I keep wanting to participate more in their Zooms because they do them twice a week, but usually I forget about it until the next day, and then I'm like, oh, I want to do the Zoom thing tonight, and I was like, oh no, that was the night before, I missed it. But the Scraptacular Cropping Club has been doing more Zooms, and Desiree has been doing lessons or scrap-alongs and stuff on them, which has been really cool. You'll see the layout that I made for the Zoom when we did the scrap-along. That was a lot of fun, but yeah, I am having a lot of fun doing that. So now I have everything glued down. I have my splatter done. I need some more gold. So I went back to my gold brads I used a lot last month. So I'm going to use those as my finishing touch on this one because I feel like they complement the eyelet really well in that tag. And then I wanted to pull in some gold as my title. I really wanted the gold puffy alphabet I used on my last month's kit as well because it went so well, but I did not have the letters I needed. So I pulled in this one, which is a chipboard gold alpha, what is it called? This one is called Joyous. It's a really cute font. Chipboard's not my favorite because sometimes I find it's hard to stick down. But this is a really cute gold font. So I decided to use this one. I'm just going to title it Hardman Farms. I did not have any A's left, but I had 3 V's. So I flipped my V's upside down so they could read as A's, and that works for me. So that's my title. And then I'll go in and I don't know if I do. I think I do my brads first and then my stamping. If I was smart, I would have done my stamping first and then my brads because my brads add dimension. So it's harder to stamp around dimension. But I have my handy dandy stamping platform from Ronnie, which is just magic. So it ends up not being a problem. Now I'm just placing the brads. I knew I kind of wanted 3 in each area. So I have my 3 around my photo banner, and then I decided actually to just do 2 up there by the tag because I kind of felt like the eyelet in the tag served as that 3rd gold element, but I still wanted to create a visual triangle with these brads. So I did add a brad down where I added the little family home word stickers in the bottom right hand corner that kind of runs down into the title. So I still have a visual triangle, but it's not scattered too much. So yeah. And this is another thing, if I would have waited to do that gold backing, I could have covered the backs of the brads with that black paper, but oh well. And then we were almost done, and then I was like, oh no, I didn't use my hexagon chipboard stickers that I'm really trying to get on every page this month. And then I was kind of stuck because I was like, well, I already did the gold brads as my finishing touch. Should I just not do these? And then I was being stubborn, and I was like, no, I have so many of these. I need to use them on every single page. So I went back and added them anyways. So there's a lot of finishing touches on this one. There's the hexagon chipboard stickers, there's the brads, there's the stamps, there's the splatter. But I think it still turned out cute. It's not, I don't know, I think it's fun and it's not super busy even though there is a lot going on. I think because it's in concentrated areas, it's okay. So I think once I get these chipboard stickers down, that's it. But I did my recipe. I did my scrap lift of Carla. I'm sorry. I will tag her on Instagram as well because I got that layout from Instagram. So my Instagram, when I post this, I will tag her if you want to see her other stuff. But I scrap lifted her layout. I got hearts, cardstock background, splatters, and stamping. I need to stamp still. Oh, that's what I'm doing now. I was going to say I didn't stamp yet. I'm doing memories down by my little photo banner, and then I'm doing just photos up at the top. I just wanted a smaller word up there, and that was the smallest word on the stamp set that kind of made sense, so that's what I decided to do. Again, stamping platform, and it's just beautiful. It's so easy. My S did not transfer all the way because the brad was in the way, but again, I just re-stamped it, and now it's beautiful. So there's one, and then I need to do the the stamp thing that says photos. It's really early. I am voiceovering 5 layouts in a row this morning before coffee. I just woke up, so that's why words are not coming to me as great as normal. But I think we're almost done now. I'm just cleaning that stamp really quick, taking off the stamping platform. And now I think we're done. I got my stamping. So I got all of my Scrap 5 elements. I am obsessed with how this one turned out. I love it. So the next page will be showing the girls on Zoom. I was so proud. They're so nice too. They're like, oh, it's so pretty. So here are the close-ups. Make sure you check out everyone else playing along with Scrap 5. The next layout will be the companion page to this one. So if you like kind of this, I'm going to try and bring some of this over to the next layout as well. So they really look like they go together. But thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.